Well, in this practice of writing, you'll have to write a story, and here you have an example about how to do it. But first of all, what we're going to do, we're going to read this example, and after that, we're going to do the exercises you have here on your right. Okay. Now the jump. Danny knew it was dangerous, but he was good at skateboarding and liked taking risks. Alex was standing at the bottom of the steps. Mel was filming on her phone. Now, as you can see, the story is divided into different paragraphs and sections. Okay? Next one. It's 7 steps. Danny thought, I can do this. He set off. Suddenly, he was flying through the air. A second paragraph. Danny shouted, I've done it! When he hit the ground, but the things went wrong. The skateboard went left and he fell to the right. We've got another paragraph here, dividing the story into several parts. Danny wasn't moving and his eyes were shut. Alex was very worried. Danny, are you okay? He asked. Call an ambulance, shouted Mel. No, said Danny, opening his eyes. I'm fine. Just tell me, you film it. Oh God. Okay, so as you can see, the story is divided into several paragraphs, and this is something that you have to do with your story, okay? And how do you know how many paragraphs are you going to have? So depending on your story. As you can see, this first part, it is an intro about the story. Now they're going to tell us something about skateboarding and what is going to happen. In the second, the main character, Danny, thinks about how's he going to do it. The third paragraph here is describing what is happening. And the fourth is telling us the end of the story. Okay? Good. Alright, so what we're going to do right now is to analyze what is written here and how it's written. Now, underline all the verbs in the past simple. Okay? Good. So, you got one, he was, and liked, Danny thought, he set off, Danny shouted, he hit the ground, things went wrong, skateboard went, he fell to the right, his eyes were shut, Alex was very worried, he asked, shouted, said, and filmed. Okay, now next one. How many verbs are in the past continuous? For each one, discuss why it's past continuous and not past simple. So, remember, past continuous, we're gonna use it when we're talking about an action extended in time. It took some time to do it. And normally, usually, it is stopped or something happens in the middle of it, and this should be the past simple. Past continuous, past simple. Remember, I was having lunch when you phoned me. You remember? Okay, so let's find out how many past simples can you see here. You ready? Okay, so here we go. Alex was standing. Mel was filming. He was flying. Danny wasn't moving. Okay, I think that's all. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about the present simple. It's 7 steps. Are you okay? I'm fine. And I think that's all. Now we're going to go for the imperative. Call an ambulance. Tell me you filmed it. And the present perfect. Present perfect. The only one is here. I've done it. Okay? So, in this exercise, they talk about direct speech. Now, remember, direct and reporter speech. What's the difference and what I am talking about? Yeah, I'm talking about this thing. When you tell a story, you can make all the characters speak in direct or indirect speech. Direct speech, it is what a person or character exactly said. For example, he said, colon, quote, I love you. Okay? This is direct speech. I'm writing exactly the same words that he said. And what is reported speech, which, by the way, we will study in the second term, or maybe, third term, I think it is. So, reported speech should be something like this. He said, he loved me. Okay, I will say in Spanish. Él dijo, te quiero. Estilo directo. He said he loved me. Él me dijo que me amaba. So can you see the difference? Every single time when you want to write a story, the main story, it is going to be written in the past, okay? So here you can see that most of the verbs are written in the past. And sometimes you find, exactly the same words that the character said, using most of the times the present simple. Yes? This is the start of a story. Put each verb into the correct tense. The human pyramid. Toby didn't want to do it, but he had no choice. 4 of his classmates were kneeling on the ground. 3 others were on top of them. 2 more then climbed on them. Toby had to be at the top of the human pyramid. I really don't like this, he thought. He didn't want to break his arm. He started to climb. Okay? Now, look at this writing task and answer the question. Your English teacher has asked you to write a story. Your story must begin with this sentence. Rebecca knew it was difficult, but she wanted to try. Now, here you have to think about a story with that beginning, right? So, maybe these questions here may help you to build, to create, to make up a story. For example, let's start from the very beginning. I mean, who is Rebecca? A teenage girl, an adult, whatever. Think about it and then write it down here. She is whatever you want. Where is she? So in this case, you have to think about the setting. You have to think about the place the story is going to take place. Yeah? School, street, shopping center, cemetery. Ooh, spooky. What does she want to try? Why is it difficult? Okay, so you have to think something that she's going to do that is not easy. Think about it. Who is with her and what are they doing? And does she try to do it and what happens? Okay, so as you can see, you've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 questions. And they could be different paragraphs, 5 different paragraphs talking about these questions. Think about it, please. Okay, so once you have thought about more or less what is going to be a story about, this is your writing plan. Paragraph 1. Start with the exact sentence they given you, set the scene. Who else is there? What are they doing? Number 2, paragraph 2, describe the beginning of the attempt. How is Rebecca feeling? Number 3, describe the end of the attempt. Was it successful? And number 4, describe what happened at the end. What was the final outcome? Who was there? Alright, so you have many questions just to give you some help about what is going to happen in your story. But you are the one who has to create, to invent, to make up a story. You are the writer.